The following is intended for mature audiences. This episode is sponsored by nobody because I haven't hawked twat on anyone or told anyone to call me daddy. But what you can do is leave a 5-star rating and review, which helps push this into the algorithm further. I'm trying to take over the world here. Now, let's get into the episode. Welcome to a world where darkness and mystery converge. Navigate the depths of horror and true crime and join a society beyond the ordinary, where buzzworthy topics, paranormal tales, and listener-submitted experiences blend into a realm of the unknown. You have crossed into a place where the unusual and the terrifying are just the beginning. My name is Ralph Anthony, and welcome to the Scream Society podcast. Hello, Screamers. Welcome into another edition of this variety podcast straight from hell. In the dawn of widows grieving with pyrotechnics and a new year, I hope you all see through those resolutions and are successful. I actually got a question asking what my New Year's resolution was, and well, I haven't had that much time to sit and really think about what I want to achieve in 2026, but like it's always body or finance focused, right? And while we all want those categories to be successful, I think I just want to make more time for the people that I love. I mean, if you haven't checked your watches lately, we aren't getting any younger. Our parents, if you're lucky enough to still have them around, they're not getting any younger either. And I think I just want to be more intentional with all of our time. And as we all know, the pandemic was just this really weird time. And if you want to get super weird, allegedly, according to conspiracy theorists, we all actually died and are in hell. Or we went through some spooky portal of some sort. And this actually isn't the real life that we knew. I know, weird. But what I'm trying to say, the connection I'm trying to make here, I feel like I'm just talking out of my ass right now. But during the tail end of the pandemic, I felt like I was turning into this very mean, very boundary-driven person. Like, oh no, don't get upset because I placed a boundary. Or don't call me out because that was my boundary that I set. And there was a time I even was out here cutting people out of my life left and right. Like, boundaries are good, but not when you misuse them to just be selfish and gross to people. So I think my goal for 2026 is that, and to be intentional with my time with my loved ones, and yeah, like just soak in as much as everyone as I possibly can. And I still can't believe another year is coming up, and I feel like I've lived so many lifetimes these last 5 years. And speaking of lifetimes, I used to be a store manager / training store manager for a certain smoothie company, Jamba, the artist formerly known as Jamba Juice. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it is basically a smoothie shop. So I ran 2 stores in my career there. And I don't know why I had never looked into Google reviews. You know how that's like a big thing right now. And the other night I was trying to fall asleep. So I was trying to do anything to fall asleep. So I don't know why it just like popped in my head to just look at reviews when I was there. And oh my gosh, it's just so funny because I could pinpoint exactly the ones that were about me when I was there. Like, and full disclosure here, I was amazing at my job. However, there were times, like everyone, I'm human, where I was pushed to my limit, and it's most likely why I will never get into management again. Okay, so here's one 2-star that says, got harassed for having no mask when mask wasn't required. And a 1-star that kind of relates to that. This one says, manager harassed me for not having mask. Disgusting. Apparently I'm disgusting for doing my job and not knowing what the fuck is going on. And obviously these were during COVID, about 6 years ago, it says on them. This was toward the end of my time, and part of the reason why I left. COVID brought out just so many disgusting people who were horrible to workers who were considered essential during a time where nobody knew what the fuck was going on, and most businesses didn't even know how to navigate. So whether you believe masks worked or not, I did what I could to keep the people working for me safe. Next one. This one's great too. This is a 3-star. Usually takes forever. Way too long of a wait for blended fruit. Not my favorite place to wait, but everybody likes Jamba Juice. The manager is challenging to work with on events. He doesn't offer fundraising cards like other franchises do. Oops. This is a positive one. It's a 5-star review and actually showcases my trauma here. This one says, just one manager for a continuous flow of customers, and he kept his cool under the pressure. I think I have waited longer at other Jambas when they had several employees working. He is not wearing a name tag. I was notorious for that. He is not wearing a name tag, otherwise I would shout him out directly, and my smoothie was awesome as usual. Hey, let's go. It's always fun to just look back on things and be grateful you're out of certain situations and you don't have certain people in your life anymore. And anyway, enough about my sad little past. To kick things off here, we are in late December. It's Christmas time. And I figured that I should open the show on a positive feel-good note before I start talking about all the demons that call themselves people out there. So let's get into this wacky little Christmas-themed 911 call. Now, like I said, this isn't a murder, thank God. This is just a wholesome Christmas mystery, maybe. It's about a little guy who took matters into his own hands, and honestly, I'm here for it. So back in December 2017, 5-year-old Tylon Pittman from Bryan, Mississippi was just minding his own business, probably watching some holiday stuff, and he sees videos about the Grinch. It put a thought in his head, a scary one. He started worrying that this green guy on TV was going to come and steal all the Christmas presents. Can you even imagine the fear? So what does he do? Does he just cry about it? No. He picks up the phone and calls 911. Like, yes, get the authorities involved. Take a listen.
Hello? Hello?
Yes. Who am I speaking with? This is the Byron Police Department. We had a 911 hang-up from this number.
Okay. I just want to tell you something. Watch for the Grinch. Because the Grinch gonna steal Christmas, okay?
Okay, do you have any adults there with you?
My mom gone.
How old are you?
I think after I grow up, I'm going to be a police.
You are? What's your name?
Tyler Pittman. Tyler Pittman. Y'all can call me. Y'all can call me if you want to, cause I will help y'all. I'm too fast.
Oh, really?
Yes, ma'am.
How old are you?
Huh? Hello, my daddy for the cop. Tell you something. 911. Hello?
Yes.
My dad said talk to you. This 911.
911?
Yeah, I'm trying to...
Hello?
Yes, this is the Byron Police Department. We had several 911 hang-ups from this number.
Boy, you been playing on the phone? Huh? Why the police department calling me this?
I'm trying to see that.
You trying to see what?
Sir?
This, man, I'm sorry. This is my son playing on the phone.
No, it's fine. It's fine. He called in saying that the Grinch was trying to steal his Christmas. So it's definitely been the most interesting thing that's happened as far as 911 hang-ups for me.
So sorry. Hey, the Grinch ain't gonna steal your Christmas, boy. You can stop watching cartoons so much.
So y'all have a Merry Christmas, okay?
Too, man. Thank you.
Mhm.
The Bryan Police Department understood the assignment, apparently, because Officer Lauren DeVille heard about this, and you know what? She's a fan of the Grinch story too. So she went to Tylon's house to let him know personally that his presents were safe. She basically told him the police were on the case and wouldn't let the Grinch ruin Christmas. Now, the best part of this case, it went viral, obviously, and the police department decided to fully lean into it. They invited Tylon to the station for a little tour, and they had an officer dress up in a Grinch costume, and they put on a full production for Tylon and arrested this man in a Grinch costume. They put the Grinch in a holding cell, and Tylon got to stand there and make sure that he was locked up. Like, that's what Christmas is about. Like, just leaning into the full fantasy, like making this so magical for Tylon, and this is amazing. And Tylon even got to be an honorary junior officer for the day. They gave him some gifts, including the actual Dr. Seuss book, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I mean, how can you not love this? Like, sometimes you just want to listen to something lighthearted, especially around the holidays, right? Now, I'm gonna ruin it. Let's get into sinister subjects. 'Tis the season. So, have you all seen the recent remake to Silent Night, Deadly Night? And I'm well aware that it's always a little controversial to release a horror film during the Christmas season. Now, I went to a Thursday night showing, and without giving too much away, I was a bit worried at first. But then the story progressed, and they actually did a great job with the characters here. And I'm a slasher guy, so the kills did not disappoint. Leading up to the release, and even now, the studio's marketing team, they just don't give a fuck. They're sending feet pics to anyone who proves that they've watched the movie just by sending a photo of their ticket stubs, and also using a certain scene to lead the campaign. Now, we have to talk about this scene. It's the scene that made me want to buy tickets, and it's the scene causing some ruckus out there right now. So, buckle up. There's a scene around midway where the main character, Billy, played by Rowan Campbell, aka Corey from Halloween Ends, who is also the killer here, but it's not a secret, so I didn't spoil anything. So he's tracking down one of his victims and finds her as the host of this Christmas Nazi party. Then what follows next is this killing spree, and it's so campy. It's so hilarious. I had so much fun with it. And overall, I gave the film, I think I gave it like an 8 out of 10. It's a B film vibe, so it's another one you can go into wanting to have fun with. Now, of course, I have to read some comments because the marketing team behind Silent Night, Deadly Night are using this scene to promote the film while also calling out some of the comments that were allegedly posted on this post on Instagram, which makes me love the film even more. And my only complaint about this is that they blacked out the identities of the commenters. So one commenter said, "You always have to desecrate our holidays." It's a bit dramatic. Christmas should be a time for all types of stories. Come on. Another commenter, "This is a really sick film, and anyone condoning it is my enemy. This is a red line for me." Another, "And as I go further, they will progressively get worse." This one says, "The only edgy or deranged aspect of this is it's seeking to turn a child-friendly character into a figure of murder, thereby taking away innocent childhood. They won't leave the kids alone, will they?" Who's they? Another one says, they leave Santa, the literal face of Christmas, and Saint Nicholas alone. They leave, you guys. This one says, "See what a twisted mess this is? We are supposed to be enraged at our own kind for standing up for our own kind. The traditional enemies want to turn the people against each other. Don't let them win. Hashtag culture war. Hashtag war on Christmas. Hashtag Nazis." I thought hating on Nazis was this widely accepted moral and historical opposition to, I think, what was this genocidal system. I wouldn't call it a culture war. And we're going to get into more of that later because, girl, just wait. Another commenter asks, what happened to feel-good Christmas movies? And here are the really crazy ones. This one says, Nazis weren't the bad guys. And finally, we MSUT all band together to boycott the film Silent Night, Deadly Night, which is anti-American and anti-white propaganda. Hashtag boycott Silent Night, Deadly Night. Not Silent Night, Deadly Night bringing out the racist bitches. Since we're on this whole topic, have any of you out there heard about these Adolf Hitler transcripts? Now, a buddy of mine was telling me about it, and I had never heard of this. So basically, these transcripts people are talking about are English AI translations of Adolf Hitler's private speeches and conversations, mainly pulled from Hitler's table talk. Basically just notes taken by aides during World War II. These had been translated before, but allegedly they were never entirely accurate. And we're really out here trusting AI to translate accurately when it's out here giving people six fingers and crooked eyes? Okay. Well, these AI translated clips started circulating on TikTok as reusable audio for your videos, often without naming Hitler directly or without historical context. The excerpts being used are carefully selected. They're not the openly genocidal speeches. Instead, they feature Hitler talking about culture, art, or claiming he was forced into war. In isolation, they make him sound like this thoughtful or reasonable person, right? In the comments, some users were praising him, saying things like, he's not the villain, he was a good man, or now I understand why this was never translated. Others frame him as this misunderstood nationalist or a leader reacting to post-World War I humiliation. I'm so tired. And to me, it's pretty dangerous to put this out on TikTok of all places, because the app already has so many people with undeveloped brains. Add in the pandemic, brain rot, disaster. And all dumb jokes aside, what's missing here is the full picture. These were selected clips that have since been taken down for a reason. And if you try to search on TikTok about this, you get this message from TikTok saying to actually look into the Holocaust and all of this. Like I said, what's missing is the context. Like, do we not remember 8th grade history? Hitler engineered crisis. He chose genocide and he escalated violence deliberately. Right. These clips strip away that reality and kind of repackage him as a victim or this strong leader, which I think it resonates with people who are already feeling angry or unstable, distrustful of what is going on today, of the government today. And I think for those who support the administration here in the US right now, I think this type of content is appealing and drawing people in because it somehow makes what they support now validated. And I think that's so dangerous. Again, especially to young people. That's just my opinion here. And the issue isn't that history is being revealed and we've been lied to. It's that decontextualized audio being used to normalize sympathy for one of history's most documented mass murderers. And once that framing takes hold, it just opens this door to more extreme ideology. And we're going to move on. I don't want to get too deep into that, but just know that Silent Night, Deadly Night is in theaters now. And if you like campy, crazy, controversial horror, go check it out. Let me know what you think. Let's take a break. From the blood-soaked depths of late-night horror comes a collection so shocking, so scandalous, it'll make your wardrobe scream. Want my face on your chest? Or maybe you just want to rep the cult, the logo, the legend, the Scream Society? Don't just listen to the nightmare, wear it. Rep it, live it. Get it now before it gets you. Head to scream-society.printify.me and rep Scream Society merch. Welcome into Terrifying But True, the segment where I choose one random true crime, dark history, or paranormal case and do a deep dive on it. This episode, I'm diving into the Santa Claus murders. And while you may be imagining something similar to the plot of the Silent Night, Deadly Night film, this case is dubbed the Santa Claus murders because this took place in Santa Claus, Georgia. Yes, that's actually the name of the town. And what happened there completely changed the town forever, especially around Christmas time. This is the Daniels family murders, also referred to as the Santa Claus murders. Let's get into it. When the unthinkable becomes reality, we find ourselves questioning everything, as some stories are too terrifying but true. The Daniels family was well known in their community. Danny Daniels was 47, his wife Kim was 33, and together they had 4 children. But their family didn't stop there. They regularly took in foster kids. Their home was known as a safe place, a constant, stable place for children who didn't have that anywhere else. Kim herself had grown up in foster care, so this wasn't just something they did casually. It mattered to them. One of the kids who stayed with the Daniels was a girl named Joanne Heidler. Because of that, her younger brother, Jerry Heidler, would come by the house sometimes. That's how he became familiar with the family. Jerry had a really troubled background. He'd been removed from his home as a child due to neglect. He suffered abuse from both his mother and stepfather and bounced through foster care, struggled with alcohol by the age of 11, and had already been hospitalized for psychiatric care multiple times. Nothing about this childhood was stable. Nothing about this childhood was safe. While spending time around the Daniels' home, Jerry started a relationship with Jessica Daniels, who was 16 at the time. When Danny found out, he shut that down immediately. He confronted Jerry and told him he was no longer welcome around his daughter or their home. And after that conversation, Jerry stopped coming by. Cut to a few months later, Jerry's girlfriend, not Jessica, was pregnant with his second child. The baby was stillborn, and the funeral was held on December 3rd, 1997. And people close to Jerry said that he was completely distraught, that after the funeral, he left. Now, in the early morning hours of December 4th, Jerry drove to the Daniels' home. He broke in through a bathroom window. Once inside, he went straight to the family's gun cabinet and took out a Remington 1100 semi-automatic shotgun. Danny and Kim were asleep in their bedroom when he shot them, and Danny didn't die right away. Jerry then moved through the house. He went into the room of Bryant, their 8-year-old son, and shot him while he slept. Jessica heard the noise and ran toward her parents' room. Jerry followed her and shot her in the back of the head. He then returned to Danny and shot him multiple more times to make sure that he was dead. 4 members of the Daniels family were killed inside their home that night, and after the murders, Jerry took 3 of the Daniels' daughters with him. He left behind the 2 youngest children, a 4-year-old and a 10-month-old baby, alone in the house. He drove the girls into this rural area of Bacon County, and during that time, trigger warning, he sexually assaulted one of the girls who was only 8 years old. Eventually, he abandoned all 3 on the side of the road. Now, a farmer found them and contacted authorities. Police then discovered the scene at the Daniels' home. After leaving the girls, Jerry threw the shotgun into a river. He visited the grave of his stillborn son. Then he went to his mother's house, played video games, and then went to bed. About 7 hours after the murders, Jerry was arrested in Alma, Georgia, and the case rocked the town of Santa Claus. This was not a place used to violent crimes, and certainly not something like this. The Daniels were known for helping children, for opening their home, for being involved in the community, and this happened just weeks before Christmas. Jerry was charged with 4 counts of malice murder, along with kidnapping and child molestation. Prosecutors immediately sought the death penalty for this, and while awaiting trial, Jerry actually escaped from jail in July of 1999 after sawing through the bars of his cell window. However, he was captured about 12 hours later, only a few miles away, and that escape attempt ended up playing heavily against him. Now, at the trial, prosecutors described the murders as cold and methodical, arguing that Jerry was motivated by anger over being cut off from Jessica and the family. The defense focused on his severe mental illness and his history of abuse, with psychologists testifying that he suffered from severe borderline personality disorder and emotional instability. The jury rejected the argument of diminished responsibility, and after deliberating for only about 20 minutes, the jury found Jerry guilty on all counts and rejected a verdict of guilty but mentally ill. 2 days later, he was sentenced to death for each of the 4 murders, along with multiple life sentences and over 100 additional years for the remaining crimes. Jerry broke down in tears when the sentence was read to him, the first time he showed any emotion during this trial. Now, over the years, he's filed appeal after appeal. Every single one has been denied. State court, federal court, the Georgia Supreme Court, the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals, all denied. Now, finally, in May of 2024, the U.S. Supreme Court declined to hear his case, ending his final avenue of appeal. And as of now, Jerry Heidler remains on death row in Georgia, awaiting an execution date. And for the town of Santa Claus, Georgia, a place that used to be known for mostly its name, it became permanently tied to one of the most brutal family murders in the state's history. And now, let's dive into Ralph versus the Rot, where I react to your stories, experiences, situationships even, and answer your questions while doing my best to give you a fair perspective and/or a little advice. As always, if you would like me to share an experience of yours, share something you find creepy or interesting, or you simply want to ask me a question, send an email to screamsocietypodcast@gmail.com, Scream Society Podcast over on Instagram, or head on over to beacons.ai/the Scream Society and click on the Society submissions link. I just revamped that entire anonymous submissions link, so please check it out. And like I said, it all remains anonymous. Now, in no particular order, let's get into these. My sister asked me to watch her baby after it had fallen asleep. I heard crying through the baby monitor. When I checked, the baby was asleep. The whole night I kept hearing random crying, but the baby was sleeping. So I just moved the baby to the couch with me. Again, this child was sound asleep. I told my sister about it, and she said sometimes it picks up random things and she doesn't really use it because it scares her sometimes. I think the scariest part of this entire story is you calling the baby it. I think your sister's monitor just picked up on another monitor or a radio close by. Like, I would freak out myself, honestly. And this actually reminds me of that incident that happened with the Ring camera, where I forgot where it happened, but parents had this Ring camera in their child's room, and as the child was playing with their toys or whatever, a man came on and started talking to this child through the Ring camera. And it was during that time when all these creeps were hacking into random Ring cameras though. But let's move on. As a horror and Xmas lover, what are some movies you recommend that have festive horror elements? I'm always going to call back to Black Xmas from 2006 or the original. Skip out on the obnoxious 2018 version. A modern hit for me is always going to be Better Watch Out, which gives me Home Alone horror vibes, and probably more recent, the remake of Silent Night, Deadly Night, which I just talked about. And the thing with Christmas horror is you can't take it too seriously. It's going to be dumb. Sometimes it may have elements of magic or fantasy or just silly over the top shit. And I also really have fun with Krampus, which is more comedy / horror. If you want a good cry, I always watch The Family Stone for my non-horror listeners. Although I haven't been able to watch this year after the death of Diane Keaton. How do you deal with burnout? I don't. No, I'm kidding. If I'm not doing okay mentally, then I sure don't want to put something out just to keep putting content out there. Because in the beginning, I was putting out episodes weekly. which then resulted in me not really having time to do other things. And when I was on this schedule, the pressure was a lot. So those episodes were a lot shorter, like 20 minutes. I think I even had a 15-minute episode at one point, which at that point, why waste your time? And full transparency here, I had this hope that if I kept going as hard as I was, I could go places with this. And that was when Spotify was paying their indie creators, which in retrospect, I think it was just to get their app out there and used by more people. So yeah, so then they stopped paying and raised their threshold and all of that. And I think it was around that time when I realized, like, what are we doing here? I need to stop pushing to make this a career move or something, and just keep it as like a fun hobby. And if opportunities come from it, great. If not, fine. And in all honesty, I think that the true value of this is just connecting with all of you. I think that's the real reward for me. And I say it all the time. So if one month I'm feeling a little too overwhelmed, or I'm busy, or I'm exhausted, I'll maybe do like one episode. And if my creative and curious juices are thriving and I have all this energy, I'll do more episodes a month. And if I'm completely wiped out, I won't do any, but sit in my recording chair. And if I'm completely wiped out, I won't do anything. And if I'm completely burnt out, I won't do anything. I'll just sit in my recording chair and play PS5. But yeah, I'd say that's how I deal with burnout. Like you never want something like this to take the front seat, because it becomes more like work, right? Like a job versus a hobby. And I'm telling you, people think podcasting is so easy, like just to buy a mic and just sit and talk into it. And just to edit an episode alone, it will take me a day, which is why podcasters push so hard to like listen to their episodes and give it a shot, because we put so much fucking work into it. Great question. Most disturbing cases. I've gone over a lot. I would have to say there will always be elements from every case that I find disturbing. I think the appeal of true crime, and it's a universal one, but I think the appeal and why people are fascinated by it or curious is just how disturbing it is how somebody could do something so evil, right? Actually, wait, I think the cases that disturb me, disturb my everyday life, disturb my routines, I would say are the mass shooting ones, because those always have me on when I'm out and I'm always looking around. Just recently, at the screening of Silent Night, Deadly Night, a man walked in alone wearing a hoodie. Now, there's typically nothing wrong with wearing your hood when you go to a movie theater. It's usually cold in there, but my mind takes me to these really dark places like movie theater shootings. So the entire time watching Silent Night, Deadly Night, which is a great film and I was able to enjoy it, I'm also listening out for any suspicious sounds, metal rattling, shell casings falling, just stuff like that. And it's not normal. And the year isn't even over yet. And Australia just had one at a Hanukkah celebration. And here in America, Brown University. What should we expect from 2026 society? Expect the unexpected. I'm just kidding. I actually have been really wanting to get into the dark side of sex workers. The story I covered last episode really made me want to push for that. And there are a crazy amount of cases. Topics and sex and all of that are typically taboo, but I said from the very beginning when I first started this version of the podcast, I want to talk about it all. So yeah, I definitely would say stay tuned for those types of cases. I mean, you have everything from this whole disgusting thing with Austin Wolf, the very, very tragic death of Sophie Anderson and the mystery behind that. She was an icon, and not true crime related, but we also just lost Blake Mitchell, aka Lane Rogers. Like, my heart is broken. So yeah, like I definitely want to get into those because I think there's a very dark side to that community. Another thing also I would not be opposed to is maybe getting into more relationship and dating entries. Hint, hint, wink, wink. What are your memories surrounding 9/11? I remember waking up at my dad's ex-girlfriend's house. He was staying with this ex-girlfriend and I would stay over there part-time. And I woke up, I made myself breakfast. I watched, oh my God, there used to be a cartoon show of the movie Tarzan from Disney. They had a whole TV show. So I used to watch that every morning before going to school. Went to school like a regular day. My dad took me, I went in, and then when I went to my classroom, it was just like a very weird vibe. There was a lot of kids missing, and the kids who were there, we were all watching the TV that my teacher had on, and just watching it, and I was like, what is going on? Like, what are these buildings that are on fire? Like, I had no idea what the World Trade Centers were or anything like that. Then the kids started leaving one by one. I don't even think I made it like a whole hour there because I got a call to go to the office because my dad had came to pick me up. And the elementary school that I went to, it was directly across the street from an IRS building, which is a government building. So I think they had shut down and they like put out warnings to like the surrounding areas just in case, because this terrorist attack in New York City on the Twin Towers, and then they had also just attacked the Pentagon. So yeah, like it was crazy. So my dad pulled me out because of that. In case there was something that went down across the street. It was just a weird day. So I said I wanted to go to my grandma's house because she made me feel safe. So he took me to my grandma's house. After that, I was off school early. So I was like, well, what am I going to do with my day? Like I didn't really grasp what was going on. And I remember getting $2 to go to the store to buy 2 bags of hot Cheetos. Obviously, I think that has somehow shaped how we deal with things now and how we think. I don't think I really understood the impact and the significance that what was going on until where I started seeing people crying, news reporters crying, reporting it, and I was like, oh my God, this is really serious. A big thank you to those who submitted for this episode. I want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays and a safe and fun New Year's Eve. This past year has been so interesting, but I am so grateful to have been able to keep doing this, even though it wasn't as often as I would have liked. New year means new opportunities and perhaps some changes coming around here. But until then, make sure to get those questions in. Remember to always keep it respectful and honest. But until next year, I will scare you all on the next episode. Not Silent Night, Deadly Night, bringing out the racist bitches. Thank you for tuning into the Scream Society podcast. Hosted, written, produced, and edited by yours truly, Ralph Anthony. Help the society grow by subscribing on your favorite platform and leave a rating and review. I always strive for 5s. Have a horror or paranormal experience? Want me to answer your questions on the show? Submit to beacons.ai/The Scream Society. Connect with the podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Scream Society Podcast. And until next time, I'll scare you on the next episode.